Hey, it's Nina.
And Ashley back with the bullshit.
And this is the Young and Getting It podcast.
Ooh, back for episode 12.
Episode 12. I was just telling Ashley before we started recording, like, I can't wait till we can say episode 100 because we will be around for episode 100. I'm probably going to throw a party just because.
Yeah, like, that's a celebration. That's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
It's a while.
Plus, we don't have any free time, so that'll probably be our first party in a long time anyway. So we'll probably just want to do it for that.
I really hope I get to party before then.
Yeah, but oh yeah, just as a reminder,
you could find us on several social media platforms. We wouldn't just get those out there, get those popping real quick. So we have our Facebook, which is Yagi. Oh, sorry, I totally fucked up. I was reading the wrong one.
Just go ahead.
Okay, so our Facebook,
we have a lot, guys.
Yeah, facebook.com/YagiPod. Then we have our Instagram and Twitter, which are both the same username, which is Yagi_podcast. And we also have our email. It's ashleyandninapod@gmail.com. And then we have our website, www.weareyagip.com.
See, that was a lot, and we have some more. So also, you can find us on iTunes. You might be listening to iTunes right now. Please subscribe. Please leave a review. Let us know how you really feel. We really want to know. You can also find us on SoundCloud. Follow us, and also leave a comment. Tell us how you feel about the show. And we want to shout y'all out, too. We are also on YouTube, so you're just going to search Young and Getting It podcast and you're going to find us. You're going to see our logo, the black and white logo. Also, we are on Stitcher, Pocketcast, GooglePlay, and I think that's it. I feel like I'm missing one.
I don't know.
GooglePlay, Pocketcast, Stitcher. See, there's a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Like, did you catch all that?
But you know what? We have to see about getting on Spotify.
Yeah,
I realize that's a
Spotify, and there was another. Oh yeah, it was Spotify, and
did you do YouTube?
Oh, and Reddit. That's the other one I was thinking about. Yeah, I did YouTube. Oh no, that was the one I was missing. Yep. See, guys, wow, struggle bus. YouTube. No, I actually did YouTube. I said you can find us at Young and Getting Podcast, but what I did forget to say was subscribe.
Yeah,
subscribe to our page. I know that some people like to listen to their podcast on YouTube. Some like to listen in their phone, on their car, on the way to work. Like, we're here for y'all, and that actually ties into something like I've said a million times. I'm a finance major, so it's really interesting going to class and learning things that I always didn't really know much about. But like, finance is like everything. Like, obviously, like, it's not your life, but
it kind of is.
It kind of is, and it'll help you a lot just to know like what to do with your finances, because you never know what's going to happen. Like, most Americans went through the financial crisis. We didn't expect that to happen. It just happened. So you want to set yourself up to do well. And it's kind of funny because I'm always like, Jay-Z came out with 444 and like was saying, dropping all this knowledge about finance, like, make sure you got your credit, make sure you did it, and everybody's bopping their head too, like, yeah, it's cool, and then something else comes out and everyone so I'm like, did y'all actually do what Jay-Z said, or were you just listening?
They probably was just listening and bumping along. Like,
Jay-Z said financial freedom is our only hope, and he's not lying. Like, savings is really important. Actually, this week I posted on my Instagram story. My Instagram is xninacx. I posted, a challenge, because I think that something that hinders people from making like their savings goals is they don't make any plans.
Yeah.
They just go with life and hope that they can save. And it's like, no, make a plan, make a goal, force yourself to live broke. Me and Ashley live broke all the time.
So, and we say this so much because it's so important.
It's so important to live broke, because just even the stuff we're doing this year wouldn't be possible if we didn't save the way we did. So we're already kind of seeing like what happens when you save your money, because it's like, we want to have fun. Like I said, like, God willing, I'm graduating this year, so I want to be able to go places and do stuff after my graduation and before my graduation, spring break and my birthday and Ashley's birthday and all that. So we brought up Robinhood during one of our commercial breaks on a past episode, but me and Ashley have like really gotten into Robinhood since then. Like,
more so than me still.
Yeah, it's like I've gotten really intense. I finally bought Amazon stock. I never like to say numbers out loud, so y'all can just go and look and see how much Amazon stock costs.
Yeah.
But I just bought some Amazon stock, so we wanted to actually list off some of the stocks that we have that we think are pretty cool, because when it comes to stocks, you look at the trends. So you're going to look at the 1 week, the 1 month, the 3 months, the 1 year, and the 5 year. You want to see their trajectory. Just because a company has completely tanked it might not be a bad thing. They might, like, for example, I bought a General Electric stock. General Electric was like somewhere between $3 and $5. I actually don't remember, but they were super cheap because they've tanked. Like, they went from 25 down to 3 in the past 3 years. But remember, technology continues to become advanced, and General Electric is a company that just will not go. Like, it's going to be here. Like, without a doubt, it's going to be here. It just is, how are they going to improve their technology and improve their profits? So when you see a company that's $3, like, if you can manage to lose $3,
yeah,
it might be a good investment. That's how I looked at them. Like, they might come out with new technology, and this $3, $4, $5 I invest in might turn into 25, might turn into 100. And like I always say, like, I'm not withdrawing any of my stocks until I'm at least 35 years old, even if there's a financial crisis, because financial crises are great times to buy stocks because no one's buying anything. So every company's tanking financially, and like, their stocks become worth, you're going to lose money in the stocks you have, but don't also take that as an opportunity to invest in stocks, because you're getting them at the cheapest. Like, like, trigger alert, like, this is a bad thing, but like during 9/11, all the airline stocks crashed, but like a company like Southwest, which is the most successful airline company in the world, their stock was probably super cheap. Actually, I should check that out. Can you look up Southwest and see?
I definitely can.
Yeah, and look up. I don't know if their initials are Southwest, but we'll see. And then go to their 5-year trajectory, because I want to see how much. Oh well, 9/11 was in 2001, so we won't even be able to see it because it's 2018.
It's too far away.
But we can at least see what was looking like. I just heard Southwest does really well. But basically, while Ashley looks that up, I wanted to talk about if you guys were interested in getting the Robinhood app, also let me know. I can send you a link, and then we both get a stock for free. So me and Ashley both got a free stock because I recommended her. And so feel free. I'm not sure
if this is Southwest, but it says it's $65 a share. And it's grown $54 in the past 5 years, right? Isn't that what that means?
Southwest, LUV though. Look up.
I don't know it.
Let me see. Guys, we want to look this up for you, because actually in my economics class, there was this book called, like, dang, I forgot what it's called. I'll put it in the description. But it talked about all the most successful companies, like, in the world, and that they all consistently did something, like, and they all did the same consistent things. And one of them is called the 20-mile march, where it's like they took their time. They didn't overextend. They didn't underextend. They just consistently did the same thing. And that helped them, because if their money, consistency is key. So Southwest stock. Let's see. Southwest stock is LUV. You're right.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah. So go back to that.
Not that expensive.
Yeah. Go back to that. It's right here.
Not
5 year.
That expensive.
Yeah. See, even their 5-year trajectory has been great. They used to be $11 5 years ago. Now they're $65. Imagine how much they were worth during 9/11.
Oh yeah.
They're probably like $2.
60 cents.
Yeah. Right. Like
don't nobody want to fly. But wait, what airline was it that, like, the plane got hijacked? I don't know.
Yeah, look that up, because But while Ashley's looking up the 9/11 aircraft, sorry, trigger alert, like we said, some cool stocks that I think you guys should get into is if you can afford Amazon. Amazon has had a positive trajectory since the beginning of time. They obviously skyrocketed during Christmas seasons, but remember, they bought Whole Foods. On top of that, I'm sure some of you guys have seen the commercial where now you can go into a store and just scan the food you want, and then it gets sent straight to your house. That hasn't started yet.
Oh yeah.
So I think when that starts, because it's like, I would love to do that.
That's for Amazon, right?
Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to try it, because you know how we always go to the produce section and we get all those produce because we want fresh food. It's like, imagine scanning all of it, telling them the quantity, and it shows up at your house.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about carrying all of that to the
in and out. Okay, so I looked it up. It was American Airlines.
Ooh, you should check out their stock and see what's happened. I like doing this research during the show. Like, how has their stock been over the past 5 years? Another cool one, I like Netflix. They've had a positive trajectory over the past year. Over the past 5 years, they also have a positive trajectory. Netflix is right now $221, but as you listen to this show, it's going to be late, so who knows what it's going to be when you listen.
Their 5-year trajectory isn't that good.
That was the beginning of their IPO, so it looks like they weren't even in the stock market during the time of 9/11, but I mean, they're all right.
Yeah.
They don't look as good as Southwest, though.
No.
I need to follow. How much is Southwest? 65? I need to follow them.
It was like 68, I think.
Yeah, actually, I read a book about all the successful companies. I need to look up all of them on Robinhood and see.
65, you right?
Yeah, I need to follow them. That's not even a bad drop that they had this. Oh, that's just today or Friday. Just so you guys know, the stock market closes on this 1 month, the middle of the month. Stock market closes on the weekend, so like there's a little bit of after hours trading, but it's not as significant as open hours trading. And I believe the stock market's open from 6 a.m. to 1 Pacific time. I might be wrong, but I always know when I check at 2, it's always closed. And when I wake up, because I wake up at about 6 a.m. every day, I always check the stocks as soon as I wake up, because China and all those other countries are ahead of us. Another cool one is Facebook. They also have a positive trajectory. The Royal Bank of Scotland, RBS, they have a nice positive trajectory. Yeah, those are my favorite ones. Do you have any favorite ones?
I just recently started, and I was Googling some companies to invest in, like in 2018. And I looked up medical ones, because I know medicine, like, that's never going anywhere.
Right, yeah.
With that, I feel like you can always make money. Like, which is sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
So
it's a business. Hospitals are a business.
Yeah. So I looked up Massimo, because I was one of the companies that they said to invest in. And so I recently just bought stock in that today. And then I bought stock in Marvel, because I figured, they're about to release a movie.
Yeah.
I figured they're going to make hella bread, because every black person I know is going to see Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther is the highest selling Marvel movie in history. Yeah. So,
and then I'm still checking out a few other things, because I'm just a little hesitant to do this, because I'm just learning how to buy stocks and do all that stuff. But I looked at Nike too. I'm kind of thinking about it, but I'm gonna see Adidas I couldn't find on here, so I have to figure out what they're referred to in the stock market, so that I could see what they're worth.
Their code. I'm looking at Nike right now. I'm like, what you looking
Nike
like?
wasn't a lot of shares, so I'm like, I'm not too afraid to do it. People always buy Nike. I feel like that's one brand. What have they ever done wrong?
Yeah, people are always I'll keep my eye on them. I'm gonna save them. And in the Robinhood app, guys, you don't always have to you can look up a stock and say you're not sure about it yet. You can click the check mark and it'll become part of your menu, so you can just keep your eye on it for as long as possible.
Oh, I need to do that.
Yeah, that check in the top right corner, it'll just keep it so you can just watch it. You can just put
check
top right corner. Oh, the plus sign. Sorry guys, there's a plus sign in the top right corner, and then it goes to your main menu, and then you can just check it. You can keep your eye on it. So because Nike actually looks like it might have a correction soon. Guys, a correction is when stocks tank, basically. But it tanks and then it goes back up. What is that? Disney. Yeah. Actually, I saw an article saying to buy Disney stock. You saw that? Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
So that might be another one.
It's not that expensive.
So yeah, I put out a challenge on my Instagram story that was basically saying
all that to get to this. I know. we always do that.
And I say all that to say, that's so funny, because I hear so many people say that. I say all that to say, I put out a challenge this week that basically said, I give you a challenge for the year of 2018. So put $7,500 into your savings and have $7,500 in your savings, live broke and get that in there, and then invest $2,500 into the stock market. Or, because I'm aware that some people are not interested in the stock market, and just put $10,000 in your savings account. Both are good. It's just that in the stock market you can make a return,
make it grow. It's not just literally sitting there gaining 6 cents a month.
Trash interest.
Yes. Who the fuck made that rule? Because it's horrible.
Right. And I know there's people out here listening who already have or almost at 10,000, and so my challenge to you guys is to double that. Same with the stock market. You can have 5,000 stock market or 1,500, or 17,500 in your savings and 2,500 in stocks, but let's get it to 20,000. So, and it's cool because when you actually reach that goal, you just have extra money. And it's just when things happen, you just have it.
Exactly. And speaking of money, remember how we were talking, you had that conversation with that one person, and he was telling you we're basically going to be stuck working in a 9-to-5 forever.
Yeah.
And then we were talking and we're in order to live out your dreams, you kind of have to have a 9-to-5.
temporarily.
Yeah, you just can't let the 9 to 5 become like your passion, because I will never be passionate about working for somebody else.
And God bless those who are.
Yeah,
but
it's just not me. So it's like you have to use that 9 to 5. You have to use that money and allocate it towards your dreams. Like if you don't have any source of income, how are you gonna live out your dreams?
Right.
Like, so maybe some people, y'all have found a way around that, but I know, like for me personally, I need this 9 to 5 so that I could feel other things that I'm passionate about.
Exactly. I'm actually glad you brought that up, because it's like investors need money to invest. So yes, I'm 25 years old, which is young, even though some people think that's old, which is weird. I'm 25 years old,
baby.
So yes, I'm going to work a 9 to 5 until I have the money to invest. Mind you, yes, I wish I invested in the stock market when I was 18, but I'm investing in the stock market when I'm 25. Imagine just what that money is going to look like at 30.
Yeah.
So, and I set a goal for myself, and you guys feel free to do the same thing. Like, I need to make a vision board at some point. My goal is to have a net worth of $1 million by 30, because I think it's possible.
I think it's possible.
And I said net worth, not in your bank account. Net worth, which means it's liquid. You can cash it, but it doesn't all have to be. It can be assets, and assets are physical items that can be cashed for money. Just like buying a home, that's an asset. A car is a depreciating asset. Even your cell phone is an asset, because you can make $100, $200 off of it. These are all assets. That's why also when I buy expensive purses, I keep them in fucking mint condition. And almost everything that I get that's expensive, I try to keep it in the best condition, because you guys never know what's going to happen. Like, it's not like I live in paranoia and I have plastic on everything I live in. It's just like, you never know what could happen. Like, say there's a huge economic crash, at least you could sell your I have 2 televisions. It just ended up that way. Like, it just happened. But if something happens, I could sell a TV. If something happens, you could sell your car, you could sell your laptop. You can obviously
sell a lot of shit.
We can sell our purses. We can sell our bed. Like I have a full bed set in my parents' house and a full bed set at the apartment I'm living at right now. All these are assets, even though we want you guys to get the real assets, which is like, a home.
Yeah. Not just like a bed. You need real tangible assets that you can utilize if need be.
Right. Because what's really funny? This is actually where I learned, like, oh, your bed's an asset. Oh, your cell phone's an asset. Is because I remember I knew someone a long time ago that was like a con artist.
Oh, God.
And so he would not, like, he was getting financial aid, and he would not do his homework. He did not care about school, but he would definitely take all the financial aid. And as a foster kid, he was getting more financial aid than all of us.
Oh, God.
And he would buy a projector and a PlayStation 4 and a brand new iPhone and got a car, and then school would happen. He would start failing his classes, and then he would go broke because he spent all his financial aid and start selling it. So then he sold his projector and sold his PlayStation, and then the next
type of life.
And so that's actually where I learned the concept of your things are assets. I get it, but guys, I'm not going to use that.
No.
Like, that's just something to be aware of.
Never.
Like, doesn't mean that, because okay, this is the problem though. There's all these, like you said, Ashley said, our generation has the most material things. She saw this somewhere. Like,
they're willing to buy more name brand items than other generations. And at first I was like, yeah, no, this isn't true, because they were talking about like Gucci and stuff, and I'm like, I don't buy stuff that's expensive like that. But then if I think about it, I do have a lot of name brand items. They may not be Gucci, but like, I have a lot of name brand items. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have a lot of name brand items. Yeah. And it's like, well, I got it on discount. Like,
I got it on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And it's like you notice, like, there's guys out here like who can barely afford anything who are buying chains. I have to show you something. I just remembered something that we will not put on this podcast. Okay. But it's like someone who like is not financially okay, but they have like bands of money, hundreds.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And they were just like, cash money till I die. But it's like you everything you have is on a payment plan. And I'm not even lying. Like,
stop flexing for the gram, people. It's not worth it.
How are you doing that? How are you spreading how do you showing all these hundreds and showing, but you don't own a vehicle? You have no car.
I can't speak for other people.
You guys, there's something really wrong with the world, because this is really happening, and I'm sure you guys know. Okay, that's actually why I haven't been on Instagram that much.
I was considering deleting
not Instagram, sorry, but we have to. But that's why I haven't been on Snapchat. That's what I meant to say, Snapchat, because a lot of people get off social media because people are making them feel insecure. I can't stand it because I can't stand seeing so many people being fake.
Yeah.
And
because you know people in real life, and then you see their Instagram and you're like, yo, like shit's not gravy like that. But it's just, that's what it does. And like, we talk about social media so much, but it has such an impact on so many people. Like Nina said something really fucked up this week, but it's true. She was like, we were talking about generation Zen, the people that were born in like the 2000s. I think that's what they call it. Fact check me on it, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we were talking about them, and Nina was like, you know what's really sad? Like, social media has led people to believe in their dreams and believe that anything is possible. And she said, I don't mean it like anything is possible, but she, like, the way she said it.
Yeah, because it's like, you guys have to like think about what I just said. Like, think about the context, because anyone would take that and be like, anything is possible. No. And everything. Let's say that everything is possible,
but not anything. Not anything.
So, which means reach your goals, live your dreams, but be realistic.
Realistic.
And people hate being realists. Like, people don't like realists. And being realistic isn't going against your dreams. Like, if you want to be a director and that's what you love, you need to go for that 100%. But don't sit there and be like, oh, I'm just gonna get famous on Instagram, and then I'm gonna be a director on Instagram, and then Instagram I'm making me famous. I had a conversation with someone like that too, and they literally said, oh, if I can just blow up here, then I'm gonna be famous. I just need to the type of like, I don't even want to expose this person, like, but just you need to make sure not to be ignorant. That's the main message. Like, do not be ignorant. Please live your dreams, because like you guys see, we're doing a podcast. It's not like we're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna be rich, and this podcast is gonna make me rich, and we're just no, it's just like, live your dreams with a brain.
Yeah, because like, it's not always gonna happen that way. Not to say like, oh, don't believe in your dreams wholeheartedly, but believe in your dreams realistically. And it's like, you even have to carry it out with your work ethic realistically. I feel like people get dreams and then they don't carry out the work necessary to make sure like it's like popping off.
Like, if you want to be a famous singer and you want to be a singer, when I show up at your house, like, first of all, there should be something related to singing going on at that house. Maybe you just warm up your voice every once in a while. You just practice. Like, if I come to your house and you're just laying on the couch, you're not in the studio, you're not writing, you're not like
developing somehow.
You develop something. Like, obviously everyone needs to take breaks, but there's a difference. Like, if when I see you in your environment and you look nothing like what you want to be, that makes no sense. Like, it just doesn't, because I'm trying not to pinpoint specific people, but it's like, take your craft seriously. Like, I think that
I think I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, it's like, when it comes to me and Ashley, we have two crafts right now. We're in the healthcare field and we're doing a podcast. So it's like, we don't need to show you we're in the healthcare field. We're at work every day. Yeah. But when it comes
I can't.
Yeah. But when it comes to our podcast, if we ever were to expose our text message threads to you, you would see that every single day we're talking about the podcast. We're always moving. There's some work always being done. It's like, with that, and that partially has to do why we barely go out, because
and it's part of the reason I don't be taking naps half the time, because I'm like, well, if I take a nap, I can't do this. Like, I can't afford the time to take a nap.
Yeah, like, honestly, that's why I went to bed so fucking early yesterday. And I remember I texted you at like 8:30 this morning, and I was like, hi, I'm awake.
And I was awake too. I was like, yeah, what's up?
I don't know.
What's
Ashley
up, girl?
Told me
we're not gonna talk about it. We're not. Nina's trying to expose me out here, and I'm not gonna let it happen.
I wasn't gonna talk about it. I was just surprised Ashley was awake. Like,
yeah,
I was surprised you were ready on time, but then I'm not.
Why? Yeah.
Because I'm not ready on time.
No, you're
so
never
I can't
ready
be
on
surprised
time.
that you're ready on time. So it doesn't work. But yeah, we super tangented off of it. But basically, like, I never want to tell someone to don't follow your dreams, or you're being unrealistic, but put your whole heart into it. Work so hard, like, and this is actually going to tie into our Look at God segment at the end of the show too, because like, we're that same message that I'm talking about, we're taking that message, and I'll talk about that. Look at God.
Yeah, this isn't one of those instances where like we give advice and don't take it.
Yeah, like we're definitely trying to take our advice. And it's like, even I've noticed like I mean, obviously I haven't just noticed. It's obvious that there's still more things to learn. So I'm trying to figure out what I want out of this year. Part of this year is like just get your health right, and but part of this year also is trying to learn more from people who think differently than me, because just because I have opposing thoughts, there are people who I definitely disagree with, but for the people who I don't disagree with but don't agree with, like I like hearing from those people because they have different perspectives. But people who just talk out of their ass, it's sorry, I just can't do it. And I know you guys have met people,
or people that have like very white opinions.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah,
because I hear that a lot at work and it's just so annoying.
If you haven't listened to White episode 11, listen to it.
Yeah.
And hopefully
it was intense but necessary.
It was very necessary. And white people can learn, and we can learn from white people.
Teach them something.
If you have any comments, let us know. AshleyandNinaPod@gmail.com, Instagram YAGI_podcast.
Sorry.
Oh well, no. Say what you're
I was gonna say. Let's go to commercial break.
Oh well. 1 second. Only because you were right before we tangented off into like people's dreams and stuff, you were saying like it's better to have a stock because you can make money instead of sitting in a savings account where you barely make anything. Yeah. I just wanted to remind them, we talked in the past episode about Synchrony savings. They have the highest high yield savings account. Highest yield savings. We did our research. They have the highest. So in the US,
wasn't there's like 1.5?
I feel like it was higher, but it might be around 1.5 in the whole US. Synchrony, when we did our research, it seems like the highest. So if you want somewhere to put your money and you don't want to touch it, look into Synchrony high yield savings account. And then also, let me see. Also, Acorns is very similar. Acorns, you do get dividends and stuff, which is a payment from the company for you owning part of their stock. It also takes money out of your bank account without you noticing, just little pennies at a time, and so you end up having a savings. So Acorns, if you want a link to that to get $5 for free, let me know. And that's basically it. So if you have any questions about finance, like I said, I'm in my finance program right now, 2nd semester out of 3, God willing. I'm going to learn more, and over time I'm going to keep telling y'all. But right now I'm really in the phase of like making sure my savings is right, because there's certain things I want, assets like homes and stuff like that. So make sure to let us know. AshleyandNinaPod@gmail.com. And
to add real quick, I found it. The percentage that you save with Synchrony Bank is 1.45%, so damn near 5%. So that's pretty good.
And I think on our bank account we make like 0.1 or 0.0.
It's like 0.01.
Yeah,
some
that's
shit
terrible.
Like that. It's like you make a penny for every dollar, right? Or
you make
for every thousand. I'm sorry,
you make a penny for every 1,000. Basically, it's so trash. Like I'll have like
my math was off real quick. I was like, wait a
stupid.
second.
But yeah, let's go to commercial break.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I wanted to quickly interrupt the show to talk about my special business for the week. It is called Lone Bodycare. They make deodorants, chapsticks, just basically everything. They have body wash. They sent me a lotion, which is freaking amazing. I like them. Like I heard of them through Hey Friend Hey on Friend Zone, and she was talking about how all their ingredients are natural. And you know how you'll get those like bumps in your armpit because your lymph nodes or your ducts are getting swollen or filled with bacteria and stuff like that. That this is basically here to preventing those things that can cause cancer. So the cool thing is, they are made of dead sea salts processed to concentrate elements that directly address and neutralize the cause of body odor. It's one application a day, and it's a very thin layer application, which is cool, so it lasts for a long time. This product is not tested on animals. It has all-day protection, which eliminates odor on contact and keeps you fresh all day. No baking soda, and made in the USA.
And I smelled Nina's, and it smells really good.
Yeah, I actually just got my new deodorant in a box today, and they gave me a free gift of lotion. And every time I buy from them, they give me a gift. So last time they gave me free chapsticks. I have one of their chapsticks, and it makes my lips so soft, and like that peeling just does not happen. They gave me a cinnamon one, which I was asking Ashley, like, what's the cinnamon for? And she was like, it's probably a lip plumper. And I was like, that makes perfect sense, because it has that little tingle that makes your lips plump. They also sent me a vanilla one with it had sugar in it, so it was for your lip scrub. So it's literally, you put the chapstick on and then you can just rub your lips together, no scrub, like dead skin off. It's really cool. And from my experience of Lone deodorant, it's been really helpful when it comes to sweating. Like, you would think that because it has no antiperspirant in it that you would be sweating, but your body actually adjusts because your body doesn't even want you to be putting those toxins there in the first place. So my body adjusted really quick. I don't stink at all ever, like, which is amazing. And even when I first started it, like, I was sweaty for like 2 days and then it just stopped. And it wasn't even like heavy sweaty. It was like normal day sweaty if you don't have deodorant on, but it keeps you fresh, no odor. I never ever stink. Like, it's funny because when I used my regular deodorant from like Target or whatever, some Secret or one of those, and I went to my boot camp, like, I've smelled worse after. And it has antiperspirant in it. And then when I use Lone, it's like just dry and like, it's hard to explain the texture, like almost chalky, but it doesn't like flake or anything. And like, first of all, I barely sweated out of my armpits, which is like, it's not antiperspirant, so how's it doing that? Like, it's actually absorbing your sweat probably into it. And then also, I definitely didn't stink. I also think it's really cool because this is a family business. So Lone was made by 8 siblings raised by 2 parents with a philosophy that what you do to your body matters. With everything you eat, drink, or put on your skin, you are either nourishing or sabotaging your health. They must have been convincing because we all decided to buy it. This is basically their family story. And I agree because they're literally all I use. They're now on the mission to get the world to quit putting toxins under their arms. And as we're all detoxing from the fallacies of the past and getting wise to the things we were once told were harmless, let's create the new norm, a healthy lifestyle that will give us all a better world to not just live in, but thrive in. So definitely go to lonedeodorant.com. They're lone.body on Instagram. Like, definitely check out the products and let me know what you think, because I know I'm right anyways. So back to the regularly scheduled program. So we're back, and it's been really interesting watching all these Netflix movies that people keep telling me to watch, specifically What the Health. That came out so long ago, and people kept just being like, well, just watch it. It
took me a while to get around to watching it.
Yeah, it took a long time, but I did want to see it because I actually wanted that movie to convince me to stop eating certain things so that like I would be healthier. But for those of you who haven't seen it, What the Health is a movie made by a guy who basically was a hypochondriac, and he found that through his research, found that being vegan is basically what will prevent most cancers. The movie was interesting. I studied biochemistry. Ashley studied neuroscience, so we have a little bit of biochemical knowledge, just from school. And when I got basically, this movie says all the bad things that come in, like animals, so like cows, their milk and their meat, chicken, pork. Obviously everyone already hates pork. Everyone already hates pork because they're kind of said to be dirty animals, even though some people can also say that they're not dirty animals. So basically the movie is like, there's toxins, these can cause cancer, this causes cancer, that causes cancer, you're gonna die if you eat meat. If you're not vegan, you're gonna die early.
And then there was some bullshit about these people that changed their diet for 2 weeks and were off all their 10 medications they had to take every day. You can kiss my ass. That's unrealistic.
That just seemed so fugazi. Like, this lady could barely walk, and after 2 weeks she was like, she didn't have her little roller thing with her.
Didn't she have like a inhaler, and she was like, I don't have to take this anymore? It's just
that was
like
the other lady.
Okay, there's just a whole slew of shit, like.
But the funny thing about basically we bring this up because coming from a science background, there were a lot of things in the movie where we were like, what the fuck? Because it was like, I noticed all the research and the articles that he was showing, he never showed any opposing side. So you can tell he has no science background. So he didn't know that in science, you need to look for the articles that go for what you're thinking, and you need to search articles that go against what you're thinking. And then after that movie came out, a ton of articles came out about how the movie's full of shit, basically. And that lady who was on the little stroller walking thing, who needed the walker to walk, she was walking without a stroller after 2 weeks. But I was like, you still need surgery though, right? Like your hips are trash. Like you still actually need to get that hip surgery.
Like sometimes you do need surgery. Like sometimes surgery is a benefit rather than a risk. But it's just like, I just don't like how it's gonna lead a lot of people to believe things that aren't true. Like, and I personally know people that like switched up their whole diet because of that movie. Yeah, and it's just like, I'm
good
glad
for you.
Good for you. I'm glad you felt inspired, but it's like, for some of those people out there that are ignorant and don't know to like research things for themselves, and then they just like follow a movie where they hear something once. Like that's a little crazy to me. Like I like to do my research on stuff. But I'm just assuming they didn't. They could have, but it's just like there are some people out there that are that radical where they see something or read something once and then it's like, oh yeah, I believe it.
And I think it was the guy in this movie. He said he was a hypochondriac in the first place, so he's more liable to believe that type of stuff. And then one of my coworkers actually said he went and talked to doctors that were on his agenda. Like he barely talked to doctors who were like not against what he believed. So obviously they're gonna say what you want to say. And I one of the articles I got, it was from sciencebasedmedicine.org. It first stated that the movie starts with Hippocrates, that's how you say his name, Hippocrates?
I don't know,
I used to know how to say it. Aphorism: let food be your medicine and medicine your food. Hippocrates, why I know his name. Hippocrates. Somebody knows this name and they're gonna be like, wow, you're stupid. Say hypocrites. Hippocrates. That's what it looks like. But basically Hippocrates died in 370 BC, before there was much in the way of effective medicine and before science had learned much about food, like the existence of vitamins. So Hippocrates is hardly a credible authority. Even if he were here, the appeal to authority is a logical fallacy. Also in the movie, he cites a summary of epidemiologic studies showing that eating a single serving of processed meat a day increases colon cancer risk by 18%. In the first place, epidemiologic studies can only show correlation, not causation.
Yeah, and correlation doesn't always mean causation. Yeah. That's like the first thing you learn in science. Yeah. Like, just because there's a correlation doesn't mean one thing causes the other. And then they give you that like generic ass example of, in the summer, people eat more ice cream and murder rates go up. So they're like, and then they give the dumbass assumption, so murder rates went up because people were eating more ice cream. And it's like, no, they're eating more ice cream because it's the summer, and then murder rates just happen to go up there. There was like no relationship.
It just happens. Like in the first place, in the second place, actually, that 18% increase is in relative risk, not absolute risk. And I believe relative risk includes standard deviation. I'm not positively sure, because absolute is like an absolute number. Like we all know what absolute means. I think relative includes the absolute plus a standard deviation. And you never know, that standard deviation could be 7. Yeah. Which means that you have an 11%, you have
that's a large window.
4% to 18% chance, like that's, it could be that.
Very
and they didn't show that. In the third place, it doesn't take the baseline rate of colon cancer into account. By one estimate, your risk of developing colon cancer by age 65 is 2.9% if you eat no processed meat, and 3.4% if you eat one serving a day. So out of 100 people who avoid processed meat, 2.9 will still develop colon cancer.
No matter what.
And out of 100 people who eat one serving a day, 3.4 will still develop colon cancer. The difference in absolute risk is one more case of cancer out of every 200 people, which sounds less alarming than the 18% figure. So it's just like they found one article basically that kind of gave them like, hey, I'm right, but they didn't go into the statistical analysis
of what could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure I wonder how many white papers he read, like
did he go to college?
I don't know,
because I just want to know if he did. Like, what did he study, and what was like, how did he conduct research? Well, maybe he didn't have to conduct research. I know that we did just for our major. An article that I read, it was talking about how like cancer isn't only caused by like food, like what you ingest. Right. It's a combination of several factors. Like, and cancer can even be, you can get that from genetics. Yeah. So they said it could be your genetics, your level of activity, diet, and then lifestyle. Like, right. If you
which
smoke,
includes your environment.
Like,
too.
How often do you drink? Because some people don't know alcohol can give you cancer. So like, if
basically, guys, everything can give you
everything.
The sun can give you cancer.
Yes.
Like
the air pollution can give you cancer. Like
everything. And
there
I know that
are
sucks,
so many factors that are out of our control, but that's why you have to try to live the healthiest lifestyle possible. So it's like, I'm glad these people saw this movie and made a change for their lives, but there's some people out there that will not see this movie and won't change their lives. Like, it's really just like, you have to have that drive to do it for yourself. Like, sorry to be preaching y'all, but You know,
Yeah.
I just feel like people get so swayed by the smallest things.
Yeah, and it's like, honestly, like, cancer is just really prevalent, as you can see, and you never know. It could be government made because there's overpopulation.
Yeah, just too many people, it seems, have it.
Yeah. Too
randomly.
many people. I work at, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, I work at a cancer research hospital. So it's like I see the volume of people who have cancer, and I see the volume of memorials around the hospital. Like, it kind of sucks. But one more thing about the article, it says, okay, so in the movie, he states that meat is in the same class as carcinogens such as like cigarettes and like, you know, those intense things that cause cancer. And basically, the WHO stands for something.
World Health Organization.
The World Health Organization information page clearly, and this is where he found it actually, clearly states that classification in group 1 is based on the strength of evidence that it causes cancer, not on the level of risk. So it just means there's more evidence towards its ability, but no one has like it said, correlation, not causation. It does not mean that everything in that group is equally dangerous. They concluded that processed meats cause cancer, and that there was inconclusive evidence of an association with stomach cancer. So like we said, like, this guy kind of was just reading articles, and I know there's people who are like, I partially agree with some of the stuff he's saying, because yes, it does do all the things he's saying, but it only shows causation. There's some people who are going to eat tons and tons of meat in their life and live to 100 and never see cancer.
There's some people that smoke cigarettes every day and don't get lung cancer,
which is just insane.
And I'm just like, man, your body is with you. It is rocking with you to the fullest. Like, at worst, you might have emphysema. Like, so, well, you probably will have emphysema if you smoke all your life. Let's not even say might.
Yeah, and there's a ton of people in my class that smoke cigarettes.
That's just horrible.
It's just, it's really terrible.
It's
I'm
really
like,
sad.
You guys are really young. Like, I know cigarettes are addicting, so I'm not judging. But, oh my God. Like, it's kind of intense. So
seek help. So
do your research. This guy's name is Kip Anderson, if you want to figure out if he has an education or not. And even at the end of the movie, honestly, he was showing people who were like, oh, I run marathons, and oh, I surf, and oh, I work out all the time, and being vegan and it's like, well, duh, you're going to show all the success stories. Show all the people who became vegans and started like showing signs of starvation. You know, like, some people's bodies just don't react well to it, but obviously they're not going to show that in the movie.
He looks like one of these hippie ass motherfuckers. I forgot what he looked like.
Wasn't his voice so annoying? Do you remember how annoying his voice was?
Yes, I do. It made it hard to watch. When
I first put the movie on, I played it for 15 minutes and had to cut it off and put on Family Guy.
He has a LinkedIn.
Well, duh, he would have a LinkedIn. Maybe we should bring him on the show.
I guess. I don't know if I could talk to him for that long.
No, it would be terrible.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to bring him on as someone who opposes. Like, we know so many science people, maybe, you know. But yeah. So we do want to know what you guys think about the What the Health movie. Like, what knowledge, what science background do you have about it? How did you feel about his opinions? Like, I'm not against his opinions, and I definitely cut back on red meats for sure. Like, over the past year, cut back a lot on red meats, just because there's too many hormones and stuff in it, and a whole bunch, and more fat, you know, just more of all these things in it.
I definitely am a turkey and chicken type girl.
Yeah, turkey, chicken, and Ashley can't eat seafood, so that she has to completely, which sucks, you guys. Isn't that crazy? She can't eat salmon. And that's healthy as fuck.
It's okay.
But yeah, so I'm a turkey, chicken. Right now in my fridge, I have chicken, salmon, swai. Swai is a fish that my friend put me on that's cheaper than salmon, thank God, because you guys know how expensive salmon is. That's the only benefit for you. Shrimp and salmon are super expensive. Like,
and mercury. I mean,
and it's pink, and they're dyeing it pink. I mean, the pink salmon is dyed. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
And some of them, it's because they feed it something that they don't eat in the wild, and that thing is pink, and it actually makes their whole body pink.
Oh, so like when flamingos eat the shrimp.
Right. It's pink. The same concept. Okay. Yeah.
So it doesn't mean it's necessarily bad.
I don't know. The dyeing is not good. But
like, everything's bad. So
yeah, everything's bad. Everything that's been processed, like, it's just not the best. And they have all these things in a tight environment, so all their feces and sicknesses are crossing into each other.
Like the fish farms and shit.
Yeah, and the chicken farms when they're all in the same coop. I saw a video in What the Health where it was like all the chickens in the coop and there was just dead chickens like on the floor. Like, that is fucking nasty. But you never know. That video might have been taken like the chickens had died overnight and they were about to take them out this morning. Yeah. You know, like,
because like I feel like farms and stuff, it's like a constant round the clock type work.
Yeah.
And, like, farmers are going out of, like, there's like going to be a shortage of farmers, and like I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know, they're probably doing their jobs correctly, or to like the standards that they have to, according to the government, in order to be able to sell their stuff. But then at the same time, the government doesn't give a fuck about us, so we don't know what their standards of practice are, and what are the conditions to like term these animals healthy and available for consumption.
Exactly, because when they say I learned this somewhere actually, when they say like 100% juice, there's a law that says as long as you're above this percent you can say 100%. So Jesus. I think it's like it could be 93% juice and they can put 100% because it's close enough, because I think it also has to do with standard deviation, so it's like you never know, you know. So
can you just squeeze some grapes and give me some grape juice?
For real, seriously, stop adding sugar. Like, why?
And then those GMO big ass grapes.
Oh my god, when I get so scared when I get a big strawberry.
I mean, okay, so there's always this constant debate about GMO, and it's like, realistically it's not that bad because genetically modified organisms. So all that means is that they selectively breed the plants so that they grow a certain way, which is basically whatever Mendel, that doctor that we learned about, he was a freaking monk, breeding flowers. And that's like one of the first things, the basis of genetics that you learn when you take that class.
Right, so we had to make flowers too.
Exactly, and you literally just selectively breed the flowers for traits that you find pleasing, like in whatever way, preferred, or like if you want drought resistant plants, or if you want plants that can grow in any conditions, like you selectively breed them to be able to withstand these circumstances that they can grow in. So to me, like, it's like, I don't really know how bad it is, because even like when you decide to have like a kid with somebody, you selectively breed, like so it's like you're basically a genetically modified organism because you selectively thought about who you would have kids with, unless it's like a one night stand scenario where you're just like, I
mean, Kim Kardashian and Kanye definitely genetically modified their kids. Like, they definitely chose, like, I'm sure I've never seen the baby moms, but I'm sure if we saw her we'd be like, Yep. That sounds like somebody they would pick to have their
but
kid.
All they did was took their shit and put it in her womb, which is pretty gross.
But the thing is, I always wonder about that. It's not IVF because that's yourself. It's surrogacy.
Yeah.
I always wonder, don't they take a little bit of genetics from the parent?
I think they take the mom's egg, they denucleate it, and then they put Kim's nucleus in there, and then they fertilize it with Kanye's sperm.
Dang, they denucleate it?
Yeah, I know that there's one way to do it that way.
Okay, so you guys, Ashley, go ahead. I was tired.
Denucleization, I think that's how you say it. They just literally take the egg and they take the nucleus out of the egg, and the nucleus is what contains the DNA in all cells. So they take that out, and then they'll take Kim Kardashian's nucleus out of one of her eggs and put it into the hosting mother's empty denucleated egg, so that it has Kim K's genetic makeup.
I wonder if they're able to get the whole nucleus out, like if some of the
like a chromosomes left here and there.
I'm like, when they get a little bit of the mom's chromosomes,
it has its own compartment, a nucleus. So like they literally just have to suck that shit out with like the highest power microscope ever.
Yeah, it makes sense, because I really just bought purchase a microscope at my job, like through my job, and it does go super mag, like you can see everything. It's like, it's not even like, it's to the point where they like have you like back up from the microscope and just look at the computer, because it's like so small, like it's not going to look right in there, and you have to just do it on the computer, like while you're
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. They're gonna train us on that in the future. But
turn up.
But yeah, that's basically how we feel about what the health. And it's funny because like we do this podcast and we're like kind of like retarded. That's not the right word to use.
You say intellectually disabled or something.
What was the other way? Retard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're intellectually corrupted.
Yes, because I was about to say, you can't say that we're the real term.
Yeah, like we're just wild. So we always talk about like pop culture and like crazy stuff, and we say how we feel because we really don't care what anyone feels about it. You know, we just want to express for people who are afraid to express the shit that we believe, and they actually believe it but don't want to say it. But also, like, we want to have content that's educational because both of us are in the healthcare system. We're both working and reading about this stuff every day, and it's for people who hated science and never wanted to do science and don't know anything about it. Some of this stuff is very essential to know.
Yeah, you should know a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's pretty essential. So I mean, we're in the era where you can just go on Google and just say, what is this? Make an effort to do that, because like it's kind of cool the stuff you find out, and you understand the body a little bit more, even when it comes down to working out. Like, we know the science of working out, and so when I don't see results, I know exactly what I did, and when I do see results, I know exactly what I did. But yeah, that's basically it. Same with finance. It's like, so finance is something we should have been taught.
I definitely need to learn more on that.
Yeah, like we should have been taught that, and we never were taught that. So we're here to impart knowledge, and if you have any additional questions about science stuff or finance stuff, we'll definitely help you out too, because we're here for the community. And I imagine once I graduate, I'm gonna know everything.
Help me out, sis. So I wanted to talk about, because we like never talked about all like the sex scandals that are going on.
Yeah, we talked about Russell.
Yeah, we talked about that lightly, but it just made me think about like all the predatory relationships we had growing up.
Oh my god.
And how unaware we were that they were predatory.
The fact that like when you're young, you like take it as a compliment of guys being like, oh yeah, and it's like I look back and I'm like, ew.
Yeah,
that was so nasty.
Because I like steady had an older man interested in me.
You got a boyfriend, we could be friends.
When I was young as fuck.
It was disgusting.
Like, it was from a very young age. Like, that shit started. Like, remember old boy who like got me candy and like got me a card and all this stuff, and he was older. He was like a senior or something.
Got it. Yeah, and we were young. He was like 4 years older than you. Like, we didn't know anything at that time.
No.
Yeah.
Like, that is just crazy.
Yeah. It's just like, and that's why I say the comment of like, you got a boyfriend, I'm gonna be your friend, because like literally that's why I'm like, wow, we went to the mall with these dumb hoes when we were younger, and we had no business in the mall other than buying shit.
Yeah, because
it was literally full of people just trying to meet people, which it's like, why?
And we really like go walk around.
I'm gonna put my kids on game when they're young, because I'm like, I promise you there's a high chance you won't be with the person that you're with when you meet young. Not saying that you won't, but there's a high chance. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, because don't trip.
And don't be so psyched to date that older man if you're a girl, like,
because they're predatory.
Yeah,
they're gonna use you to turn you out on some R. Kelly shit.
Yeah,
like,
they trying to fuck, sis.
Yeah, they're not trying to, and they're trying to train you, because there are men out there that try to train women. Like, you know, I don't need you to train me, because they be trying to. Just thinking about it's fucking gross.
It is like. The fact that we thought it was so normal, like,
yeah, we thought we were somebody, and it's like, ew, you actually are nobody, because they do that to everybody.
Like, you're getting molested, like technically. Like,
I remember, I forgot how old I was. Maybe I was 20 or something, and I met this guy, and he was like, I'm 30, and then like after talking to him for a while, I realized he was a pimp. Like, I just realized, and then he didn't realize, but I asked him again, how old are you? And he said 35, and I was like, so you're here lying about your age and starting to like going from talking about normal stuff to talking about pimp stuff really quick. And thank God I got out of that really quick.
No.
Like, I want to have a child with a dark skinned woman, and it's like, I'm 20 and I just met you. Like, on this,
what?
You can't be talking about that on the, you know, like it was the day I met him. The day I met him was the last day I ever saw him.
Oh,
you know, like,
yeah.
Like, he was so creepy. Like, oh my God. And it's
ew.
like,
Okay, and just like last week, it's not even on some well, it is predatory, but in a different way. I got a text from a random number, remember? Yeah. And like,
that was weird.
I was like, who is this? And they're like, did you used to go to UCR? I'm just like, who is this? And like, I went there a while ago. Who is this? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I just have you saved in my phone as nice UCR girl. And I was like, all right, well, like, at least I was nice, I guess, because usually I'm a bitch, like, whatever. I didn't even say all that. I was like, well, at least I was nice. So then he hits me back like, I don't remember what he said, but then the next statement was like, oh, if I give you $100, will you come and give me a massage? Like, what? And I was like, I don't even know who you are. You're being real creepy, and I'm about to block you. And then he replied and was like, well, I could do something for you for $100. And I was like, yeah, no, you're getting blocked.
Yeah,
like you're
just
being
a
real
creep.
weird and like doing the creepy ass smiley faces.
I hate when people play with your phone.
No, and that's why I'm like so quick to block people, because I
Yeah.
literally blocked that number so fast.
People
And
really
it's
be
just
playing
like,
with your phone.
weird. I haven't gone to attended UCR in like 3 years, damn near.
I know.
Yeah.
I've only been to my alma mater once, and that was when we did our photo shoot.
I went back just to get my diploma.
Yeah, that's super.
That's it.
Oh yeah, but I quickly wanted to talk about Black Mirror. I wonder.
Oh yeah, I had that on my list.
If you guys haven't seen it yet, I'll leave a note in the description, like stop here and start back here, because I don't want to spoil it for you. So if you have not seen it yet, please pause, go to the show description. If you're on iTunes, which I think is it's SoundCloud, which doesn't show the description on iPhones. So if you're on that, just go on the webpage and you'll also see it. It's latest episode, so it'll take you right there, so you'll see where to skip. So just to know, we're going to talk about episode 6. Oh my god, first of all, that season of Black Mirror was really good.
Yeah, I got my entire life.
Man,
except for that one that you told me had the lowest views, episode 5, the black and white one, because
what was going on?
There was no, like, at the end they showed what she went to get a fucking teddy bear,
like
dumbass white shit.
What?
And she took a nigga with her. I don't know why.
And he died first,
helping her bitch ass out.
Why not? Like,
and they never explained what the robot was, and like
it was a dog. It was a security dog. Yeah, that's all it was. It was a dog. Like, it really was a dog.
But why did it have so many homies?
But I know it was. That's why I was like, that's why I called it.
That's why I'm like, I think it took over like the world.
Yeah, because I did in the whole show, you don't see any human in charge, and everything seems like
like barren, end of time.
Right.
Remember
like
in the opening scene,
apocalypse.
oh yeah, there's a bunch of pigs here. There's no pigs here anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry, my throat's like super dry. I don't know why, but yeah, I was like, I think they had taken over, but it was like the fact that they had like super protecting like bears.
Yeah.
And the thing that bothered me is the whole episode was a chase, and that was it. And then we're watching you be chased, and then you kill yourself.
Like, and you're doing dumb shit. Like when she saw that thing like come up out of the dog, why the fuck you gonna stand there and watch it explode?
Oh,
that's just all I want.
She was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and then it's like, I'm tired. Like, I need shows to really get it together. Stop having everyone fall on every single chase episode.
Yeah,
have people not fall.
Can
once.
somebody just not to be the status quo? One
yeah,
time?
What I'm noticing that every time there's a chase, they fall.
In episode 6, she wasn't the status quo, because I was for sure like, oh, this black girl is gonna get murked. She's going to this place that's called the Black Museum. There has to be a slave in there,
right?
And so like I was stressed for her.
Yeah.
I was real stressed, but when I found out that she was like a strong, black woman, fucking it up.
If you guys haven't seen, well, obviously you probably should have skipped at this point unless you just want a spoiler. But if you haven't seen episode 6 at least of season 4, I believe it is the last episode.
The last episode.
Yeah, like watch it. That shit is crazy. I actually watched it twice and caught a little bit more stuff, but it was just like the story writing, like
it was very well written.
It was so well written. Like, and then the fact that like at the end of the episode you find out that she actually knew everything was going on. When you watch it again, you're like, you could tell
she's setting it up.
You could tell she's
up.
aware, and you could tell why her emotions were going the way she was going. Plus, you could tell because her mom was in her head.
Yep.
So it was like her emotions could have partially been her mom's too, or like her mom could have been saying stuff in there. Like, but it was just like the first story about the doctor.
Oh yeah,
like
that one made me so uncomfortable.
It was weird because it was like he was fucking his girl, and then he was just like he was feeling 2 orgasms at the same time. But once like first of all, it's crazy
when he died and he was like rubbing her arm, he's like
and he started pinching her, and he was like and it was like because basically somebody died, which flipped the whole thing.
Made me laugh so hard.
Like he literally was like, ew, it was so nasty, because remember he was in the hospital next to the old lady, and he was like and his eyes were rolling back, and like
it's like, how did you guys not stop him
the first time? That was so fucking gross. Like, and then oh my god, the
dismemberment.
Yeah, him just dismembering his body. Like it was hard for me to watch that because
I covered my
me
eyes.
too. It was like, that's just so pervy, but it was like the whole story was connected. Also, one thing that I've noticed that's been connected through the whole series is every time there's something like futuristic when it's with a human, they always put an implant on their head since season 1. Even with the death episode, San Junipero, they always put an implant on their head. And like, I heard some reviewers, I think it was Wester Bros, they reviewed it and they were talking about like, oh, they keep doing the same stuff. And I'm like, it's not that they keep doing the same stuff. That's the theme of the show, the whole show. It's not the theme of the season. It's the theme of the show.
And even in that one episode where they put the implant in the guy and he was like in a video game and it fed on your worst fears.
It was in his head.
Yeah.
All of it's always on your head.
That episode was scary.
That was,
because the whole episode was like a millisecond. Like a millisecond long. How do you write something like that?
Oh my God.
I just want to know, like, how do you just fathom something
actually
like that?
That episode was actually scary.
That episode creeped me out.
They were actually doing scary things.
Yeah.
Because then you have that big
that
ass spider.
spider.
Oh my God. And I hate spiders. I mean, okay, so I brought up San Junipero, which is actually the highest rated episode of the whole series. Everyone go watch San Junipero. I don't remember what season, what episode, but I think I can put it in the description. Like, that's my favorite, and the one about social media that I keep talking about, where it's like you have to rate everybody.
You rate everyone. You have to be fake.
I just love it. Like, I just really like the girl's face, and it was funny because when she was jogging, I noticed that she's actually a thick girl. Like, she actually is thick, but like I just really liked her face, and I really liked her eyeliner. Like, I was staring at it the whole time. It was
precise.
It was perfect. Like, she was super cute. Like, and she did a great job on that. I need to find out who she is, like what other show she's on, because usually when I do that, they're on another good show. Yeah. Yep. BTW, there's a show that people say is similar to Black Mirror. It's called Electric Dreams. Like, I watched part of an episode, but it was like midnight, so I fell asleep. But I am gonna finish watching that series. But back to episode 6.
I just love that it's a Twilight Zone for us.
Yeah,
a Twilight Zone we can relate to, because like the original Twilight Zone was stuff that they found fearful,
right?
And then like for us, it's so much technology tied into it, because we are so wound up in technology, and it's like every episode is centered around that.
Yes, every single episode. Like, and then like remember when the second part of Black Museum, where the guy's baby moms or girlfriend / whatever died, and then he put her in his head, but then like they basically had a divorce, and then he started dating more people,
and he dated a black girl. He put her in a fucking
teddy bear. And honestly, that was fucked up, because it's like, that's your child's mom.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
And then
you should have put her in
choking the teddy bear. It's like,
look,
are you gonna be a nice teddy bear?
And it's like, he was low-key pussy, because it's like, I know you don't like your baby moms, but you're fucked up.
Like, you couldn't find another way.
And then obviously it became illegal later, but it's like, she's still in there. Like, that's fucked up. Honestly, couldn't they move her out? Because later in the episode, they moved him.
Could have. Okay, but
maybe she did. Because didn't she take the bear with her?
Yes, but the thing is, that guy is sick. Like, they're trying to paint the picture that he is a sick individual, like that he has no remorse for other people, and he was only doing things for personal gain and for the gain of his company. Right. Because all those things he did to people, like,
was to build his museum.
It was all in his museum. And like, there were stories we didn't find out about.
Oh yeah, because the museum had a whole bunch of stuff in it.
The museum had a number of things in it. So there's other tragedies and atrocities he could have done.
He had that bloody bathtub.
Yeah, and if you didn't, that was probably from the earlier episode where that lady, they had hit that guy when they were driving, and they covered up the murder, and then she went out. She killed the guy later because he wanted to tell the wife.
Oh my God, that episode
remember that?
Was so fucking
and
fun.
Then she went and she killed the guy in the bathtub.
Oh,
I think that's the bathtub. Everything was related to crimes in the season, because if you look on the screen when you first walk in, there's the one where that lady wakes up in that city and nobody will talk to her, and she's trying to figure out why.
Are you serious?
That her video's up on there. I watched it again because I knew there was things I didn't catch, but each thing kind of dated back to a crime in other seasons of Black Mirror.
Wow.
So it's like, if you guys need to watch the whole thing again, to put the pieces together, but I noticed that
just blew my mind, because I actually just watched that episode again. Like, maybe we'll put that in the description too, because it's like the episodes we're talking about are fantastic episodes, because I just watched that where the girl did a crime, but she doesn't know she even did a crime,
because they're doing this shock therapy on her.
And it's like, it's crazy, because and then the guy who she did it with freaking killed himself. Like, so she's stuck with the crime, and it's like, since she's a murderer, they can do whatever they want with you. So it's like, I get it, but it's super kind of like not right.
It's cruel and unusual punishment.
And I don't think, like, first of all, if I ever told my parents I was going to something like that, they would be like, do not go there.
Yeah, no.
But second of all, like, just as myself, like, I don't know if I could ever go there, because just like the Black Museum, people were coming and taking the little
yes, of him screaming eternally. It's
like,
a digital copy of him screaming in pain forever. And remember,
so sick.
He started doing it for personal gain, because the white guys came in there,
gave him a
hated
big bang.
Black people, would give him a lot of money, and they were able to hold the switch down longer,
past 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's why the conscious, like, whatever histogram, it's not histogram, hologram, the conscious hologram of this guy was brain dead.
Yeah.
And it's like a hologram was brain dead.
He couldn't say anything, couldn't talk.
He didn't even, I mean, I could tell somewhere deep in his conscious he noticed that was his daughter, because he came and touched the window. But it's just like, this white guy was doing the sickest stuff because he was aware that things would go bad, and he did not care. He didn't care.
And remember when the guy's implant messed up, he's like, well, we can't stop every project just to help you.
Oh my God.
He basically told him, you're part of our science experiment.
And they sign off on this shit.
Yeah.
And just like the guy who was going through the death penalty, he was like, I mean, I'll come back to life, so I might as well just do it. And it's like, you were in a jail cell.
You're going to pay my whole family off.
Didn't something happen with the murder? He didn't kill that girl.
He didn't. They were planting evidence. There was a whole lot of, like, it kind of was like the OJ trial. They were doing things incorrectly. Except for OJ did it.
Oh, you know what's so crazy? Remember at the doctor's part of that episode, they actually show the murder on his TV screen right before he starts dismembering his own body. The second time I watched it, you know how the doctor's alone in his house and he lost his job? On TV, he was watching the murder that they're accusing the Black guy of. I noticed that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it was like
mind blown.
And he actually didn't do it. No. So it was like this man just
remember
suffered.
The white guy, he was like, well, there was evidence, like, and then his daughter was like, well, what about them tampering with the evidence? He was like, there was clear evidence that he did it. He definitely did it. There's no way that he didn't do it.
50 Cent, he did that shit.
Yeah.
50 Cent on Power. He's guilty as hell.
That nigga did that shit. Anything they say your daddy doing, that nigga did that shit. Man. Like, oh, fucked up.
Man, I can't wait till Power comes back.
Me either.
But yeah, like that episode six was just
intense.
If you have not watched it, I know we just spoiled it for you, but
I'm sorry. It'll still make you angry when you watch it.
Black Mirror, just go through the whole series, because honestly.
They just lead you to, like, you have so many assumptions going into it, and you're like, okay, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna kill her? Like, oh my God, like the suspense, the way they lined it up is just beautiful. Very well written. I'm intrigued. Usually I could figure shit out. In this instance, I could not.
Like, these are shows I never watch anything twice. I just don't feel like it. And this is a show that I definitely watch the episodes twice, because I'm probably gonna watch, once I get through all these shows I need to watch, which I never will, because I've never even started Game of Thrones, and people keep telling me to start, and that's like 1 million seasons long. Probably once I graduate, when niggas
actually have time,
when we have free time, which is in August. So I'll start watching all these things in August. But yeah, I just want to bring that up because those were just like super impactful episodes. I love good producing and good directing. Like, I love good storylines, and like not every episode was like crazy like that, like the black and white episode that we just talked about. But Black Mirror is a shit. Like, no wonder the ratings are so high. But let's move on to our next segment. It's called Bugging Out.
Okay.
We only, just like Look at God, we only do Bugging Out and Look at God when we feel it. Obviously, God is always alive in our hearts, but we're not just gonna be like, today I look at God, I woke up. Like, we can do that on every episode.
I could do that on my own time.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to waste y'all with it.
We tell God that. So my Bugging Out is actually super short. Remember how for H&M, the coolest monkey in the jungle, and then P. Diddy offered the boy a $1 million contract? It's not real. So P. Diddy was on Breakfast Club, and when they brought it out, he was like, P. Diddy was like, that's totally not real. He was like, I never said that. That never happened. And they were like, what happened? He was like, that's the internet. And it's crazy because that's the internet. Someone just said, probably trying to influence P. Diddy to give him that contract.
His mama on the low.
Yeah, someone just created it and just put it out there, and everyone made it go viral. And he did not give this guy a $1 million contract. This never happened. P. Diddy might have said something like, put some respect on his name, and then they just like ran with it. And that's, I mean, we talk about the internet all the time. It's so fake. And like I said earlier today, I can't even watch, I only watch specific people's Snapchats. Like, if there's 30 stories, I watch 4, because it's like, I can't stand people who are just fake everywhere. Like, you don't see me like putting on makeup and putting on a cute outfit just to take a picture. No, I will not post for a week and a half because I haven't gone out in a week and a half. I haven't put makeup on in a week and a half. Like, if I have something to do, I'll post it. If I'm in class, I post it on my story because that's all I do.
Yeah.
All I do is go to work and go to class. I post my puppy, like, and so it just shows again, like,
but
how
people really like having poppin' Snapchats. They like having poppin' Instagrams. They like having poppin' Insta stories.
Honestly, it only means something if you're making something out of it. Like, we have an Instagram for this podcast, but we're making something out of it because this is something we believe in, and this is something we're going to keep doing and working hard in and trying to grow in. But it's like people are just doing it to feel better about themselves. And it's like, even like, remember we had a friend of ours who like always had a high following on like all of her pages, and she did nothing with it. And it's like, you could be promoting a brand, you could start your own brand, like you could be like all these things you could be doing. You could start taking pictures because you already take a million pictures and just model until somebody
make something happen.
I just I was just telling Ashley earlier, I was all like, as long as they got a hustle, I don't care. Like, just make a hustle out of it. Like, don't be sitting at home all day on your computer and then like, just taking a picture outside when you put on an outfit. Don't be throwing all these hundreds down when you know you're about to deposit it because that's your rent.
Well, yeah, it was your rent money.
It's like, oh my God.
Or you could just make it clear it's your rent money and then nobody will judge you.
Yeah, right?
It's easier that way.
That's so funny because I actually was thinking about that when I was driving, and I was like, I was going to like post a picture of like, take all the money out that I have in my bank, which is you're gonna look like a lot, and then post it and be like, I just wanted to do this to look like you guys, like, this is my rent, this is my car note.
Like, this is just shit I'm not about to spend.
This is my rent for the next year, this is my car note for the next year, this is my savings for the next year. Money. hundreds.
No,
like, it's funny because I saw comments of this one guy, NBA Youngboy. I don't like him. Like, he just looks like a woman beater, and he got kicked off of a flight or something, so in the airport he was all like, fuck this airline, throwing all his money out, spraying his money, fuck this airline, I got money, I don't give a fuck, da, da, da. And someone in the comments was like, why did y'all cut it off before you picked all the money off the ground?
Yeah,
to show the real, he's not leaving that money there.
No,
like,
you don't have disposable income like that.
People need to stop acting like that, and it's really unfortunate to see Black people doing it too, because it's like, that money should be, I'm praying to God that all these rich Black people have money in the stock market, investing.
I pray that they're not getting that money through selling things illegally,
right? Because some of them are, like Birdman. I'm sure he was doing illegal stuff. Why did I just I think like they seized like 2 point something million of Birdman stuff. I think he hasn't been paying his mortgage.
Oh shit.
And I was like, that's really funny, because on the read they were talking about, they're like, all Birdman did was talk about what he had, like big rings, 100,000 Ferrari, Mercedes Benz,
talking ass ruining tracks and shit,
Rolls Royce, mansions, every state. It's like, that's all he did. Hold on, let me look at Birdman.
He out here trying to be like Wesley Snipes. Remember Wesley Snipes wasn't paying his taxes? That shit nigga show did go to jail.
He really went. Didn't Lauryn Hill
probably
go to jail
these
too?
Free radical people that just like, I don't know, they want to be one with the earth and the motherland.
Okay, this is what it was. I just want to say, I didn't even know Birdman's name was Brian Williams, but anyway,
that's cute.
Right? I'm like, that's super cute. He's a normal guy. He faces a $12 million foreclosure on his Miami Beach mansion and office building. I was like, well, you were talking about big B's, money, big things. What's it called? Filed a foreclosure lawsuit November 30th, targeting his 20,000 square foot house in Miami. It has his recording studio in it too, where Destiny's Child worked in, Lil Wayne, Funk Max.
So what's going on?
Funk Master Flex and Juvenile. That nigga's fake. And then and Crystal on the read said, how are you not paying nobody and you still don't got money? Because you know how he has all those issues with people because he don't pay nobody. And it's like,
oh my God, you're right. Everybody be like, yeah, Young Money don't pay.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was a super side note. That's really funny.
That's hilarious.
But that's my bugging out. I don't know if you had a bugging out.
Yeah, surprisingly this week I don't have one.
Okay.
Because a bitch stay mad, but we're cool.
Are you ready for a look at God?
Yeah.
Okay. My look at God, I have two, because one of them popped up right when we started taping. When we were setting up today, I was like, oh my God, I'm so struggling with Homer. I don't understand anything. So while we were setting up, I watched a YouTube video of my teacher instructing, and I understand. So Look at God. I went from not knowing anything to fully understanding what he's talking about, and I memorized it without writing it down. So I'm actually going to go back and write it all down. But I always feel like if you memorize it before writing it down, when you write your notes will be really nice because you know exactly what you're talking about, exactly what you need to tell yourself. So that's a look at God. I also said this multiple times, but I just feel good about the interviews that we have coming up. I mean,
I'm excited about that.
You know, like I feel good because like I feel like people understand our craft and understand how serious we're taking it, and I think they might also appreciate the people we bring on because they're from different facets of life and they show you how they got to where they are. So I'm also excited for the tour because me and Ashley are getting that together on top of just being able to travel this year. Like other podcasts that support us, that we support, actually want us to have them, and we want to have them. So we're definitely collab episodes, and I'm excited for that. That's definitely a look at God. So for me, school and work is great. And at my job, when I was hired on, it was considered a temp because I was hired through a recruitment agency. And so you always go through your temp period, and then the hospital, like my hospital, signs you over. So I just got signed over to as a employee of my actual hospital and not just a temp. And so I'm like, oh my God, now. I'm like, you guys like me because you really could have just got rid of me at that point.
You really could have.
They really could have. So it's cool. Like I everything is good with school and work. So that's a look at God. Amazing.
My look at God is that I am inching closer and closer to starting school. Like I'm so excited. I'm gonna hate it, but it's going to pay off. Like, man, I'm excited to learn something that I know relatively little about, and I'm going to be able to change the field that I work in. Like, that's one thing I am so excited about because I am just so tired of working in medicine. Like, it's stressful.
Yeah, and I always tell Ashley, I'm like, the work she's doing right now is going to look solid as fuck on her resume. Like, after this, you're kind of, this is freedom. Like, both of our situations, like, we're struggling right now, like, because we're having to save so much money and all that stuff. But it's like, we're getting to the finish. We're getting to the point of freedom. And we've reached a little bit of it because we've actually made time and money to do this podcast. But it's like, there's a level of freedom we're about to have to where it's like, we're going to be able to open businesses. And I really want to open a business. Like, I really want to do that type of stuff to where the financial freedom starts to become something real. And we both started investing in the stock market, you know, so
setting up my different sources of income, because it's like a popular saying that I hear all millionaires have at least 6 forms of separate income. So 6 different facets. And I'm looking for those 6 and I'm going to have those 6.
And we want our assets to pass our liabilities. So then we're always making money and not just always paying money. And right now our liabilities probably are passing our assets, but we're moving towards the opposite as young people. So I'm glad it's like Black success. And then I was telling my friend that I really want to start a charity one day, but I want it to be big enough to where we're really making a lot amount of money and giving back to people who really need it. My focus right now is Black girls, but I know that it's going to expand to other things. It's just me preliminarily start thinking about it. I do want to focus on Black women, but obviously I want to focus on minorities, young people, which is what this podcast is for. It's for young people. It's also for minorities, you know,
and just underprivileged people.
People who didn't have this background of education, you know, like we want to be able to help. And that's also why we listen to other podcasts, because they teach us stuff. So
I really try and learn something every day. And like, I noticed one thing. The reason I like the Brilliant Idiots podcast is even though they talk about bullshit, stupid just shit, like we do sometimes, I literally learn something every time that I listen to their episodes. And so that's one thing that I really love about their podcast. And it just clicked for me one day. I was in the car, I was listening to it, and I was like, oh, like,
they're dropping knowledge. And another one is Desus and Mero, because they're really wild. Like, you can tell crazy. They're super off the wall, but multiple times they've said something I've never heard of before, and multiple times they use words I've never heard before. They're really smart. Like, because I know they're in their 30s, maybe mid 30s, something like that. Like, they know what they're talking about. Like, they're comedians, but it's like there's a reason why they just got signed to Nike and just got signed to ESPN.
They're out here booming.
Yeah, they're booming, and they used to be drug dealers and scammers. Like, they really did. Like, Desus really had a porn site and was making money off of his porn site, you know, like, so it's cool to see people come up and like
come up. And
wisdom also just teaches you stuff in general, because my dad just be dropping dumb knowledge all the time. Like, not dumb as in stupid knowledge, but dumb as in a lot of knowledge, because people don't think I'm saying dumb. But so hope you appreciated this episode. Hope you learned something, you know, back every week, every Monday. Let me repeat the social media again. Do you want to go first? You want
I was gonna say, if you want to teach us something, since we love learning, hit us up at our email, ashleyandninapod@gmail.com. You can also contact us via our website if you go to the contact tab. So if you go to www.weareygip.com and then go to the contact section, you could shoot us an email that way. So it all goes to the same place. You could say who you are, you could say who you ain't. Like, you ain't gotta put it, just give us a question.
Yeah, let us know. And social media.
Oh yeah, our social media. So Twitter and Instagram are the same. It's YAGI_podcast on both. Our Facebook is facebook.com/no,
that's YAGI
pod. You're right.
I told you guys we have a lot of platforms.
There's just too many. I always fuck one up.
And we always put in the description, so you'll always be able to click it, especially on our webpage. We made it hyperlinked so you could literally click and go straight to the episode.
Yep. In iTunes. And if you don't have iTunes, SoundCloud link is up in the top right corner if you are on your desktop.
Right. Okay. And then so that was Instagram, that was Twitter, that was Facebook, that was the email. YouTube. You already did the website. We have a lot, guys. Okay, and then also on YouTube, you can just search Young and Getting It Podcast, and we're gonna pop up. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you leave comments. We're also on iTunes, and you can just look up Young and Getting It Podcast. Subscribe and leave a review. We really want to hear what you think. We're also on SoundCloud. Please follow us, and you can also comment on there. So let us know what you think. Follow us, and we'll follow you back. Well, I don't like that. Like, we will follow you back, but I don't like that follow for follow shit.
Yeah, like if you contact me in my comments and you ask me to really like check out your last post and I go check it out and your page is some bullshit, don't expect me to really say anything to you.
Yeah, like if you're spammy and you're just trying to get followers, we won't follow you. If you're a real person that really supports and really has some, it's just real. if you're real, we actually will
just
communicate
don't come
with
at
you.
me with the bullshit.
I'm sure you guys know about those spammy pages. So also there, we're also on GooglePlay, we're also on Pocketcast, we're also on Stitcher. We have a lot of platforms. Make sure to hit us up, let us know what you think. Also, thank you guys for listening so much, because it's cool to just have that cult following, I guess what they call it.
Following.
Yeah, it's cool because like we'll put out an episode and people will be listening, you know, so we really appreciate it. See you next week, guys. Yeah.